After 7 exhausting years, was expelled from my own guild. They don't know it yet, they have no idea what my real strength is, and soon, they'll regret everything. 7 years, that's how long I wasted serving the Kairos Guild. I was their shield, the man who stood between life and death, so that the gifted members of the team could stand safely behind me and look heroic. During the boss battle, I felt my shield crack. I felt my bones scream with pain as I held the monster back alone, screaming for help. Help that never came. Instead of support, I was met with cold, disgusted stares. And the moment the monster finally collapsed to the ground, the people I once called friends revealed their true faces. Guts the leader left me there. In the rubble, in the rain, in a storm that felt like it was mocking me. It was cruel. Kim Hyunti called me a failure, useless. Cha Yun laughed at my weakness. And Mia Lee looked at me like I was something disgusting stuck to the bottom of her shoe. Then they threw me out with a small severance check. 10 million won for 7 years of loyalty. For context, 10 million won is only about $7,000. 7 years of my life, and I walked away broke. That's when I understood the truth. To them, I was never a teammate. I was just a tool. But fate has its own twisted sense of humor. At the lowest point of my life, something awakened. Green windows appeared before my eyes like a system interface, calculating probabilities, outcomes, and routes I never knew existed. A reality hack. And it led me to a small guild called Epic. And there the impossible happened. Sylph, a wind spirit that had been asleep for 12 years, chose me. In a massive explosion that lit up the skis of Buchan, I stopped being the man who took hits so others could win. I became a wind elementalist. The elementalist class. My hero had unlocked a rare power, the elemental class. It granted him the ability to communicate with special beings and borrow their power through contracts. In this world, heroes who form contracts with spirits are called elementalists. They are extremely rare and highly respected. In fact, a single elementalist is powerful enough to rival an entire guild. Legends speak of 3 famous elementalists. Luca Harrison of England, the Mist Elementalist. Malisai Soifu of Samoa, the Water Elementalist. Abu Bakr of Egypt, the Sand Elementalist. Each of them was a hero on a completely different level. And now, a new elemental hero had been born. Epic Guild after the explosion. Back at the guild hall, after the explosion, Kim was still lying on the ground. Meanwhile, Jihan stood upright, holding a glowing green orb in his hand. Behind him, the shadows of other elementalists could be seen, hinting at the figures who would appear later in his journey of revenge. Jihan's new ability was control over wind. The scene shifts to the Epic Guild building. Jihan is still confused. What just happened? Kim sits on the sofa and explains everything calmly. Jihan asks, did I really form a contract with an elemental? Kim nods. Yes. She explains that Sylph is a spirit that controls the power of wind. Then she reveals something more personal. Sylph once had a contract with her late mother. And that's why she believes Sylph chose Jihan. Jihan hesitates, still unable to believe it. Then he asks the question that proves he's still thinking like a normal human being. Is there a way to break the contract? Kim gives him the bad news. It's impossible. Once Sylph chooses a master, the bond cannot be broken. There is only one way for the contract to end. If the master dies. Jihan freezes. Welcome to Epic. Still overwhelmed, Jihan asks, so what do I do now? Kim crosses her legs, gives him a teasing smile and stands up. She congratulates him. Welcome to Epic officially. Then she casually asks, did you even look at any other guild? Jihan answers honestly. No, I never thought about anyone else, I only wanted to join Epic. Kim's face turns red. And honestly, for a guild leader, she's not exactly great at hiding her emotions, but hey, at least she's human. She tells him his mindset is good. Then she promises to help him master Sylph's powers. Kim is surprised by how eager Jihan is. He says he wants to test his new powers immediately. Excited, he forms a glowing green orb in his hand again and announces, it's time to enter an MA. MA refers to special zones filled with monsters. In the distance, a blue dome marks the entrance. These monster areas are ranked from 5 to 1, and the monsters inside match the rank. Kim and Jihan head out together to train and explore his abilities. Holding his sword and staring upward, Jihan declares, "We're going to rank 5 area in Bujin." He trusts his system hacks. "This place is perfect for testing my strength." Kim scans the area nervously. Jihan notices and asks, "Is something wrong?" Kim admits embarrassed. "I've never trained inside an MA before. And I'm scared." Jihan stares at her. "Why didn't you say that earlier?" Kim sighs. "As a guild leader, it's kind of embarrassing." "Which is fair, but also, ma'am, you are literally leading people into monster zones. A tiny bit of practice would have been nice." Entering the monster zone. As they enter the monster zone, Jihan decides that this time he will stay in front. Sword in hand, Kim gripping her staff, they move deeper into the area. They pass through the wreckage of old battles, ruins left behind by previous clashes between heroes and monsters. Jihan asks Kim to scan for threats. She checks her radar. Then she says the monster here is a cockatrice. She explains that it has built a nest in this area. 2 weeks ago, a truck had overturned nearby, and the cockatrice's bobbies were scattered everywhere. Jihan draws his sword. "These things are perfect targets for testing my new powers." The environment around them shifts completely. Collapsed buildings. Scorched ground. The air feels heavy. This isn't just a training area. It feels like a war zone, a place where blood is spilled and fear lives in every shadow. Realizing they are only 2 people, Jihan says, "Since it's just us, I'll have to act as both tank and damage dealer." Kim feels something is wrong. They keep moving until she senses movement in a nearby parking lot. A cockatrice appears behind a car, eating its lunch. The monster notices them, but it doesn't drop its food. Instead, it spreads its wings wide. Both Kim and Jihan feel an overwhelming pressure. They prepare for what's coming. Jihan quickly tells Kim, "Cover my back." And he charges forward. The creature takes a step. The ground trembles under its weight. It attacks, lifting a massive claw, showing its terrifying strength. Jihan raises his sword at the perfect moment, blocking the strike. He smiles, because he realizes something important. He is no longer the weak man he used to be. Still holding the attack back, Jihan shouts to Kim behind him. Kim begins casting a powerful spell. Her eyes glow. Then she releases it. Wind arrow. The blast strikes between Jihan and the cockatrice, forcing them apart and shaking the entire area. The monster crashes to the ground and the earth beneath it cracks. It's a display of Kim's overwhelming power. Jihan steadies himself and praises her aim. Kim smiles and says, "Even if I look like this, I ranked first in my academy." Translation: Yes, I'm a guild leader. No, I'm not just here for the vibes. The swarm. They talk for a moment, and almost miss the sound of more cockatrices approaching. Kim senses them first. She shouts, 3 birds attacking from behind." Jihan turns. His green eyes glow again as his ability activates. The incoming monsters are caught in glowing green lines of energy. Above their heads, warning signals flash. Jihan watches them and says the name of his skill. Sampling. He orders the system to calculate escape routes. A window appears. It shows his survival probability if he drops to the ground. As the monster attacks directly, Jihan simply ducks. The system confirms it. 82% success rate. Jihan looks at his hand. He instantly forms another glowing green orb. His new skill is called Haste. In the blink of an eye, every bird in the area is killed. He moves through them without a single scratch. Leaving their heads behind like trophies, sword raised, he turns back, finally understanding what his new power is capable of. Kim is completely stunned. She says, "You use Sylph's power perfectly." She can't believe it. He hasn't even had these skills for a full day. And yet he's using them like a veteran. Jihan stands there in a dramatic pose. Kim asked, half serious, "Are you a genius?" Jihan calmly puts his sword away and calls Kim over. He picks up a few feathers as loot and says, "From now on we farm continuously." Which is the most heroic way of saying, we're grinding a lot. But as he bends down, his skill activates again. Something is still wrong. Jihan spins around and shouts at Kim. Look behind you. Another monster appears directly behind them. But this one is much larger than the others. The tension spikes instantly. The creature launches a powerful attack straight at Kim. The sound echoes through the entire zone. Jihan catches her just in time before she can be crushed. Holding Kim safely in his arms behind the bird's massive body, Jihan asks, "Are you okay?" Kim nods. "I'm fine." Both of them prepare their weapons, confused why such a monster is here. Jihan studies it closely. And then he realizes. This monster mutant. His eyes glow green again as the system activates. A new interface flashes, calculating probabilities. Above the mutant bird's head, a bright danger symbol glows. Jihan steps forward to protect Kim and says urgently, "Hold it off for 1 minute." Kim looks confused. "What are you planning?" But Jihan is already rushing toward the danger. "I'll be quick." The creature strengthens its claws with strange energy. It attacks him directly, beak open, wings fully spread. As the deadly claws come down, Jihan grips his sword and moves aside at the last second. He shouts to Kim, "Now!" From behind, Kim releases her magic. A slow wind spell hits the monster. The spell works, binding it long enough for Jihan to reach it.